Good morning, Vigor Warriors. This is Vigor Warriors 2. How we doing this morning, guys? This is March 23rd, 2022. Hope you guys are doing well today, and another glorious day in the morning here. And as you can see, my car is sounding unbelievable. Actually, it's lasted pretty long. I like to keep cars running as long as I can, and I have about 198,000 miles on this Acura that I have, and it's about a 2003, so it's lasted almost 20 some years. So it's been good. This one's been good, and so we keep it running. Those Honda engines are very good, so hopefully this will run for another 50,000 miles or something like that. We'll kind of have to see, but the body probably of the car is going to go before anything else, so interesting. All right, so please go ahead, subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate all the comments, everything you guys have been doing. It's phenomenal to be able to kind of get out and reach you guys and see what people are saying. A lot of good questions and things that we had. We had a good question last night, a couple of good questions last night, so I'll kind of focus on those a little bit as time goes on as well. I think we had a person talking about the Fountain of Youth, so I may go back to those exercises and talk about those and actually kind of do a segment on those again. But please go back and look at those if you're interested in those. I can't tell you enough how those have helped me over the years, and I will probably end up going and get the book and kind of showing those. And maybe one day what I'll do is I get some time, I'll go ahead and actually perform and go through them that like I do. But the Fountain of Youth book is wonderful, so it's good to kind of talk about Kendler's book all the time. So, all right, so today, very interesting, and I think I saw a video and a sermon on this, talking about how a person looks differently at women when they're in retention. And this topic of this will be women attraction, how you will look at women differently on your journey. So on your journey, it's important to realize that you are changing your lifestyle. You're looking at things in a different way than you did before. And so it doesn't it doesn't take a lot to be able to kind of say, okay, well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and look at all things and see how we look at things. And so as you're on your journey, and I'm at 600 and I think it's 56 days, something like that, and I think it's 176 or something like that at monk mode. So we're getting closer to some numbers in the 200s and 700s. And so we're getting there. And the idea is, as you go longer, you tend to kind of look at things differently because you form habits, just like you do good or bad, and you form habits, and you form a habit of not really thinking about this all that much, and sometimes those things pop up. It's happened to me, recently, and you have to kind of direct those and get back on the circuit because you're thinking about it. But obviously, thinking about it is a long way than actually doing anything about it. And I think this is the whole key to it. The more you're able to stay on your streaks, the more you're able to kind of keep that in the back of your mind, the less you're going to be able to kind of think about this type of thing that is moving you to the direction of releasing. And you have to kind of make sure you guard against that and have self-control. But you will start looking at everything differently around you. And women attraction is one of the key things. It is definitely a benefit. It's still a benefit. After 671 days or whatever I'm at, I can't remember now. It's 4-1. I'll have to go back and look. But I know it's 670 something. You look at the attraction level is the same. I mean, I have people still staring at me. I have people who are, very nice to me. Maybe a little bit too much, because they kind of tell you through their verbal and nonverbal communication. And you have people who are just attracted, and they probably don't know why. Certainly, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's an attraction level there. And what it really is a level of energy. They want your energy because they sense it. and they sense the testosterone's building. And even at my age, 60, it's a lot better than it was. Now I can imagine, if you're at 20 or 30, the testosterone level is going through the roof, and you have to really spend a lot of time trying to control it. It is a challenge. But as time goes on, you're going to look at things in a different manner. And so you look at women in a different manner. Now, this doesn't mean that it's still not a tempting type of thing, because women will be on top of you more because of this. Because they sense the energy, and they want to be around the energy, and they want to feel the energy. But the other part of this is now you're not really paying attention. You're not kind of showing any kind of interest, except obviously the person you want to show interest to. And you're looking at everything in a whole different way. You're not captivated by the attraction or tempted by the attraction. And as a result of that, you're not really being able to be controlled. And you're not able to kind of be motivated by that. And so this really baffles people, especially nowadays when everybody is, either on some sort of drug or medication, or, people are basically kind of, a slave to porn and all kinds of stuff like that. This is a unique individual that stands out. And this is why you get the attraction level you have. Now, it may not have been the case back in the 50s and 40s when you had a little more stronger level of these type of values and ideas, and this was acceptable. Now it's kind of looked upon as a negative if you're going through celibacy, or you're trying to retain, or you're trying to use brahmacharya and all these type of things that we talk about. And it becomes a negative if people find out about that. They just laugh it off, or they just think you're crazy and things like that. But the real truth of the matter is that what you're doing is building a strong individual, and people can't identify what that is because they haven't put two to two together yet, and realize that the science world, the health world, has been kind of feeding a lot of garbage to people over the years just to get things sold, keep themselves in business, and making a multi-billion-dollar business on health and keeping people, in my opinion, sick. And so as you look at this type of thing, it creates a matrix that we're talking about, where people live in a different world than in reality. And in reality, and obviously people think that I'm probably not in reality, but all I know is that what I experienced especially over the last 600, 50 some days, and that was the matter of looking at keeping your energy and the results of that. So the attraction level is going to be very high still, and it still is. I mean, you can see it all the time. In fact, it's just something that's there. Now, women who tend to be, modest, and women who tend to be, not very, aggressive, they're going to give you signals in different ways. But the thing is, they may still be flirting, or they may be still happy to see you, and all these type of things, because they like your energy. And that's biological. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, you, on the other hand, have to recognize that, because the last thing you want to become is a womanizer with all this energy and knowledge, because it's very easy to fall into that pattern. And this is what a lot of guys do. They fall into the pattern of the attraction, and now they want to go from woman to woman, thinking that it's really more of them. And of course, certain people have certain traits that women like, men like, those type of things. But the thing is that it really is more your energy that's attracting people, your vitality, your enthusiasm, your passion. All these things are things that attract women to you, and for men, it's women. You're attracted to women with the same type of thing. It's an energy type of thing. And so if you recognize that, well, then what you should do is try to keep your energy, right? The trouble with most people is they just are not knowledgeable when it comes to this. And it's because we've been told the opposite thing. We're given all these type of things about how to build confidence and how to do this and do that. Well, one of the biggest ways to build your confidence and build your strength is to keep those nutrients within you and to be able to save who you are so that you can actually work on that. And now, is it foolproof? No. There's times you're going to be nervous. There's times you're going to have negative reactions. There's times you're not going to be confident. You're going to have negative reactions. But the thing is, you are going to be stronger in this state than any other state you can be in. But you have to learn how to control these urges you get and move them into transmuting them into positive types of things. And this is where the fountain of youth types exercises, these are deep breathing types of things, can help you a lot move in a direction where now you're using this in a positive way. And so that's it. Now, obviously, you still want to have that type of energy, and you can feel it, within yourself. But you never want to get to the point where you're focusing on going back to the chasing women around and to focusing a lot of your attention on women because you've had more women now attracted to you. This is kind of the complex type of situation in this scenario. Attraction comes for a couple different reasons. One is that people are attracted to things that are hard to get, right? They're attracted to antiques in the material world, and they're attracted to people in the other world because the idea is that they can't go ahead and have this person very easily because the person doesn't have the same sort of level of attraction. Sometimes when the person does have the same level or they go overboard, it kind of pushes the person away because it almost comes off as being kind of desperate. And that is more of a negative psychological type an effect than a positive. So that's also something that you have to kind of be aware of. But a lot of times when you're in this kind of state, you don't really have a lot of, you're not acting desperate. You're not acting like you're needy and all those type of things because you have what you need inside of you. Remember, guys, we have this idea that we need other people to the point to make us a whole person. Well, that is one of the things that happens when you get married, and that's all good. But the bottom line is that you have your creator, you have God, in my case, you have Jesus. And so you don't really need to have all these type of things. And a lot of times that comes about because you're losing energy. And now you feel like, well, I'm missing something. Your anxiety level goes high. All of a sudden, you get depressed, anxiety, all these things happening because you're not at full strength. You're not at the point where you're keeping that energy within you. And it's very easy to get caught then off guard and get tempted by a lot of other things. And now you're overeating, you're doing drugs, you're going into gambling, you're going into a lot of porn, things like this. Now you get yourself in a lot of negative behaviors. And so the whole idea then is you really want to be able to focus on realizing that your life is changing. Women are something that are just like human beings. We're all human beings, and appreciate the human being for the human being, not for the sexual object you may think they are, right? Or the attraction you have with them. Now they're a person. And now you become a lot more attractive by de facto, because if you treat a person just like normally and not even, not having any kind of lust or anything like that, that person more than likely, because it's probably rare, especially if they're an attractive person, they probably will sense, wow, this is kind of neat, right? I like this person. And if you combine that with the high level of energy aura you have around you, which people see, you may not see it, but people see it. All of a sudden now, they got to be around you. They have to be around you. And I think this is kind of the key to the situation. They have to be around you because you have all this energy, and they want to be around the energy. They feel it. They feel a positive, strong energy, and they want to be around that. So this is the fascinating thing about it. So these type of things I was watching over the weekend are very, very interesting. I see more of a discussion on this than I used to, which is a good thing. I think people realizing that, I think this whole idea of, the the old thing with the, playboy person out there who's just having girls, and this is what a man, big man should be, I think was really, really wrong, and I think, this is not what God intended to be, womanizer or a manizer, whatever you want to call it, depending on who you are. They don't want people like that. That's not the way God intended people to be. And once again, if you're trying to have children and a family, well, that's one thing. But if you're not doing that, and all you're doing is out there trying to have fun and all this other kind of thing, or you think it's fun, it's not really a fun thing. This is really a very important thing as far as God goes. And having, sex, all these type of things is something that should be taken very seriously under the right kind of circumstances. Unfortunately, in our society, we do the opposite. We think it's very carefree, that there's no negative effects. There's always a negative effect. I don't care if it's physical or emotional. There's always an effect that you have, because the people you're dealing with, they have their soul, their energy into what they're doing. And the bottom line really is that it's not just a game or things you're playing. It's something a lot stronger than that. And the Lord knows that. That's why the Bible's talked about this, and any kind of religious book talks about the fact that, you should just not be sleeping around with tons of people. It hurts you from a not only a physical standpoint at some point, but a psychological, a spiritual type of thing, and it makes no sense. So, and as you're on your streak, you realize you start looking at the opposite way. And now I also be aware. Don't think this is one of these things the devil, the evil one, puts in front of you. Don't think this is like you're losing energy and power because of this. I think that sometimes people think that way too, that they're going to have dysfunction because they have no thoughts of this and they're going down a path. And this is what I used to have problems with too. But it isn't. It isn't. It's not a problem that you're not thinking about this. Because a lot of people, in this world with everything, images and everything you're seeing, people think, well, if you're not thinking about this, you must have some kind of psychological problem or physical problem or something like that. No, God never intended us to be sleeping around all the time. God intended us to use this energy when we want to have children, and that's it. And I just think that, I know that's in this world, this is a far off type of a viewpoint, but, this is what the reality is, and I don't care, what state of, openness people have, what they want to call it. It's not true. It's going to be self-destructive, and a lot of these people who thought they knew all these things over the years really kind of they also self-destructed because of this type of stuff. And you have to kind of be careful of the power you have, and you can't just waste that power like a lot of people do. So, all right, my friend, well, this is our little talk for this morning, March 23rd, 2022. Hope you guys have a great day, and we will talk with you soon. God bless you, and guys, battle on.